Hello, I'm Max Off with Lose Your Source for all things Everton. I'm Jay Pounton. I'm here to talk about the news today that came out via Sky Sports that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is supposedly on a sort of transfer shortlist of Manchester United going into the new season. Obviously, he's in the last year of his contract. Seems like he probably won't be signing a new one. We'll have to wait and see there. He looked like he could have gone to Newcastle. Supposedly there was issues and stumbling blocks on Calvert-Lewin's side. We may not know the inside track on that fully just yet, but yeah, it's interesting because I think this whole summer I've been kind of saying he's either going to stay with us and go at the end of the season, or we'll get him out the door this window. I don't see any chance of him staying beyond this campaign now, really, unfortunately, which is not ideal because I think Everton play better when Dominic Calvert-Lewin's in the team. He's now finally seemingly injury-free. He's also got a couple of goals in pre-season, which is nice. Not the end of the world if he hadn't, but it's obviously good to see him getting on the score sheet. And at the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers, and Everton have been begging the last few seasons, circling the drain big style. Beto's come in, not hit the ground running. Chimity's young, injured as well now. We've got players, Sandro, Rooney, Toshin. We've had absolutely loads of players up front since Lukaku came in. The ones who've really done it for us are Calvert-Lewin and obviously Richarlison, who's obviously left too. So I think it's going to be a case that Everton are going to have to kind of look at this and say, if someone offers us at this stage, I'd say, 30-40 million pound now, do you take it? Or do you just say, right, just give us one more big season, get us 10, 11 goals, just make sure we stay in the division? Because if a striker gets a dozen goals in a season, it's hard to go down. But I know obviously you do get players sometimes that do score goals and the team does still go down. But I think Everton's got enough about them outside of the centre-forward position that they wouldn't need to worry about that if Calvert-Lewin can get those numbers. No players hit that number since Calvert-Lewin himself, I don't think. I was looking at the other day, I think Everton have been on sort of 12s and, 11s, 6s, 7s when it comes to top scorers, Decore, McNeil, Gray, Richarlison, etc. So, yeah, it's a massive shame as far as I'm concerned. I think it's interesting because he had a real roller coaster time with Calvert-Lewin. So he comes into the team, everyone's begging him to come in the team because we were relying on Lukaku as we did for the entire 4 years he was with us, 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. Everyone's begging him to get in the team. He's scoring goals to 23s, comes into the side, does well enough, gets his first goal against Hull. Going to the next season, again, you're thinking, right, should we get him out on loan? Is he going to go back to the 23s? Is he going to be a squad player? Oh, we signed Sandro Ramirez, we've signed Rooney, obviously, as well. Should be fine. We've got 2 strikers there. Little do we know, it was never going to work out, and he ended up playing the whole season, really. He scored a few goals as well. Obviously, played right wing back famously. Got pushed out wide as well as the campaign went on. But I thought he did quite well that season. Going into 18-19, I think he got the 9 shirt. And it just didn't click for him at all until the end of the season when he still didn't score, but he was playing well. I think people were starting to think, right, this is our man. Start next season, doesn't happen for him. Duncan Ferguson comes in, and that's when he starts getting stick, by the way. I think it was kind of mid 2018-19 season. Goes on that good run of performances without scoring. But then when that performance level dropped a little bit, Moise Kean comes in as well, of course. That's when you were starting to worry. That's when you started getting stick as well, kind of mid to late 2019. Duncan Ferguson comes in, completely changes his fortunes. Ancelotti does very similar work with him, gets him loads of goals. He does well towards the end of the season. And then obviously we had 2020-21 when he was just a goal machine. I think he got 22 goals in all comps, something like that. So he did well then. And I think you're going into the Benitez campaign, you're thinking, all right, we're flying here. Obviously, he scored against Southampton, which actually wasn't his goal. It was definitely an own goal. No idea why. It's always been credited as a Calvert-Lewin goal. Go watch it back, the 3-1 game. I think it's Alex McCarthy in goal. It's as clear as day. But scores there, scored against Leeds, scored against Brighton. And you're thinking, we're flying again, using the England squad, still at that point. And then he goes down at Brighton, and that's when the injury debacle starts, and that's when his body shuts down. Everton let him down as well. Benitez and the coaching staff and the medical staff, which he seemingly sacked as well. Massive nightmare for us, and all of a sudden we're going into the season without our talisman up front, and that's again when he starts getting stick. He's injured all the time. He comes back, he's off again. He's going in light, he's not working hard enough. I think looking back now, for me, that was on Everton. Everton should not have played him when they did, and they needed someone like Sean Dyche who said, right, We've got, I think we had something like 13 points after the first 5 or 6 games. We're doing absolutely fine here. Okay, look, it'd be great to push on, but after the summer we've had, let's not risk this now, and let's just play Demarai Gray over Richarlison front, because we did have options then. It's not like over the last season or two we've not had Richarlison, and obviously Gray on his own is kind of worthless in that striker role. Went on for 2-3 years, and now his value's finally going back up again because he's seemingly fit. He's worked very hard himself. Everton have worked hard with him. Sean Dyche's done wonders to get him back fit. And we're at a position now where I think, again, in the Derby game, obviously he played with strappings and didn't play the next game. He really ran himself into the ground that day. That's kind of the only injury I can think he's had over the last sort of 3-4 months, which is of the last season, which was obviously good. And now we're in this situation where, if you'd said when he went off at Villa, in a year's time we're going to be talking, do you sell him for 30-40 million, and it being a genuine question, it's an interesting point, isn't it? I think some treatment has been very unfair, but I do think a lot of fans have stuck with him always and have supported him a lot, and have kind of backed him. And I think, to be fair, towards the end of the season, he came good on that faith, and you were hoping now this is going to be the year where he kind of gets back into it, and it's like, right, can we get him back to 15 goals in the league or something? So we'll have to see what happens, but I think a move to Man United, to me, you got Højlund there, you got Xerxes. It just seems a bit strange. You'd be talking sort of 150 million quid worth of strikers there, which would be a bit bonkers. Similar profile to Højlund, in terms of his physicality. He's both big fellas, big strikers, but Højlund, I think, better on the ball. Obviously, should be a better player than Calvert-Lewin in a couple of years, and I'm sure about that. But we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. Would you like to keep down with Calvert-Lewin? Do you want to see him sign a new deal? Would you cash in now? Would you wait till the end of the season, maybe reevaluate? Let's see what happens anyway. For me, if he's not going to sign a new deal, I'd get rid now, because this money could be really, really good for Everton. Help us go and get a replacement. So let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll see you next time. Nice one.